Morning, everybody.
Hey, hey,
It's Thursday morning, so you know what that means. What's your name again?
ask Dr. Andy.
Ask Dr. Andy, because he's really handy.
Oh, you're too kind.
Now let's listen to see what they say.
Got a late night worry, got a word you can't pronounce, got a chart you don't understand, and your heart is freaking out when your search bar spinning and you're scared to read it slow. If you got questions, I know the place you need to go. Yeah, it's Dr. Andy with his whole steady buffalo. It's the medical show that everybody knows.
All right, that's enough. We don't want to spoil them getting that
Yeah,
good music all the time.
I'm going to get a big head if you continue that.
Well, welcome to Ask Dr. Andy. What episode is this, Andy? It's not 21.
I want to go 22 or 23.
It is, and we are going to be talking tongue-in-cheek, a hot topic, which is no smoking, no
Yes.
smoking, no fumar,
Yes.
no. And it's surprising to me, and like I see a lot of people that aren't smoking, but first of all the comments and statements by Eddie Buffalo and Dr. Andy are purely for entertainment purposes. I'm surprised that, you don't really see a lot of people smoking. And I know in Texas, marijuana is illegal, but I smell weed everywhere.
Yes, that I do. What I wanted to talk about today
Oh,
is,
no, we're not done. Remember, because we didn't get to it last time. So we're going to do a new part of the show. And Andy doesn't know what I'm going to say. But first, let's talk about one of our brand new sponsors, which is Proud Patriots, proudpatriots.com, celebrating America's 250th anniversary. They have pens, they have paraphernalia, they have hats, they have all kinds of stuff. What I really liked, though, Andy, was the patriotic glassware because, being from Buffalo and, we're hockey fans, the hockey, the double gold medal teams this year, they have a bunch of optical glasses, which of course are not coming up. So you're going to have to go to Proud Patriots yourself and check it out. And when you do, use the promo code Buffalo for 15% off. So we're going to start this new part of the show. What hypochondriac questions is Eddie going to ask Andy today?
fire away. I'm afraid. I'm very afraid.
So this is kind of weird what happened today. So I went to the gym and I'm doing the cable pullovers for my triceps, and I felt something really hot on my left knee. It was only for like a second. And then the rest of the workout, it felt like I was itchy inside of my knee. What hypochondriac answer are you going to give Eddie the hypochondriac?
Okay, well, one question.
Yes.
Did you lose control of your bladder or not lose control of your bladder?
I did not pee myself.
Okay,
No.
that takes one of the warm down the leg things off the table.
I said itchy, not warm.
Well, you said warm and
Well,
hot.
it was like hot.
Okay.
Yes.
Typically, pain like that, you're going to think of connecting tissue that's not muscle. You'll think
Kneecap?
ligament or tendon someplace that you may have stepped wrong, pinched.
So it's really going to suck tomorrow, is what
Well,
you're
we're
saying.
going to find out. Tomorrow's another day. Now, let's move on to something where
Because I'm going to tell you, it blows me away how much people pay to smoke nowadays.
yes, it works out to about $5,000 a year for an average smoker
Oh,
to
it's
smoke a
got to
pack
be
a day.
more than
No,
that,
no,
Andy.
I'm going because you have states like North Carolina where the tax on cigarettes is very low.
So
Anyway,
I was
national
going-
average $5,000.
let me tell you, I was standing behind a guy at the gas station a couple weeks ago, and he got 2 cartons of smokes, three things of the chew, that new thing that they're doing now. It's kind of like chew, but it's kind of like gum too that you keep in your mouth. And how much you think is Bill King for? $144.
Well,
I mean,
good.
I don't smoke. I've never smoked, but wouldn't you smoke dope instead?
He's paying for the social cost of tobacco, which is
That's
why the
crazy.
taxes are going up. Let's talk from a patriotic standpoint about what tobacco does. Now, you look at our wars. Smoking kills more people a year than we lost in World War II.
That's nuts. What are the numbers on that, Andy?
Okay, we lost about 400,000, 410,000 people in World War II. We lose about 480,000 people a year from smoking-related illness, with an additional 41,000 secondhand smoker deaths.
That's crazy.
Yeah, we're losing about 1,300 people a day. If you sit down, take our smoking deaths for 5 years, it outstrips every person we've lost in every war we fought as a country.
That's insanity.
The cost to society, they've cited numbers that are in the 100 billions. If you look what smoking does, obviously COPD, lung cancer, nasopharyngeal and mouth cancer, throat cancer. It increases your heart attack risk. It increases your stroke risk. It increases your risk of death from infection like pneumonia.
Now, do you find it's a generational thing? Do you think there's less smokers now than there were years ago?
There are less smokers. We're down to around 15% of the population, but that's still a huge number.
Mm-hmm.
And my approach with smokers, I don't put them down. I don't berate them. Most smokers know the facts of life. Most people don't want to smoke. They have to because it is such an addictive habit.
Why is it so addictive, Andy?
Nicotine is an incredibly addictive chemical that once your brain meets nicotine, it knows it's there for the rest of your life.
And it wants more, I'm guessing.
Yes, it produces a feeling of comfort, calm, a mild initial stimulation, and people crave it. Once they've met it, they crave it. So what you need to do is approach it from a supportive standpoint. Say, you smoke, I'm not going to beat you up. You know the facts of life. Acknowledge. Most people are not stupid. They know that it's a problem. Say, when you're ready to stop, I can tailor what you need to help stop to your needs.
What does it do to the fetus if a woman is pregnant and she still wants to smoke? Because going back in the 60s and 70s, that was more the norm.
Among the better documented things, you have smaller birth size, you have retardation of growth, you have a parent who's getting sick more frequently and is exposed to more medications to treat their illnesses. The list of things it does is very long.
It makes me think. I mean, my mother was born in 1940, started smoking when she was 14 years old.
Yeah, my mom was a pack and a half a day person while she was having me.
I mean, with me being born in 67 and being a child of the 70s, I would take a note from my mom to the corner store to buy cigarettes.
Well, let's talk about what it does with lungs.
Yeah, I would like to hear about
Just
that.
getting a little bit older, by the time you're 70, you've lost 15% of your lung capacity just by normal aging. Your lungs become stiffer. Getting air out is not a passive process. You still go and have the air come out. You have to squeeze and do things in your lungs to get air out. When you smoke, first of all, you bump off a lot of the cells that swap gases, oxygen and CO2 out. Second of all, you make that lung stiff where it doesn't comply. And third of all, you can make little empty spots, blebs that can collapse, or just unfunctioning architecture where there's air or mucus dropping.
And it's funny, I just asked you what the hell a bleb was last week because my father got them all the time when it had to be like early 80s. Is that from many years of him smoking and then stop smoking, or what's the story on that?
It can be genetics for smoking. But the bigger problem with smoking, you have obstructive airway disease. Your airways are inflamed. when they're inflamed, they're smaller, the big tubes.
That's
When
very
you have
interesting.
a stiff architecture where it's all connective tissue and less of the springy tissue to help get air out. COPD, obstructive, you can't get air out. That's what happens. Now, let's take.
Wait,
you're
can I back
fat-
up on that? Because I
Mhm.
never heard that explained that way. What
Mhm.
do you exactly mean to me?
Okay,
That's I mean to me means everybody. I want to hear it.
you have to get air out to get air in.
Okay.
So if you can't get air out, once you've extracted, I'm so sorry. Once you've taken the oxygen out of the air and swapped gases, you're stuck with this air that's not useful. It's not helping you, and you can't get it out. And you got to get it out, get air back in. That's what happens in a nutshell.
Because I remember my mother would have me cupper with my hands
Okay.
to get the mucus up and things
Yes.
like that. What does that actually work?
We'll get to that guy in a
Okay.
moment. Now, let's talk about when you have that, you can't get air out. Now, let's say you're overweight. When you're overweight, you have big chest, big tummy. To get air in, you have to move your chest wall out. You've got to move your diaphragm down to suck that air in. It's harder. You have restrictive disease then. You're restricted on getting the air in, and you can't get it out. Those people are in trouble.
That's awful. And then God forbid one of their lungs collapse.
Yes. So that is part of what goes on. Now, quick 411 about lung cancer. You can break it down into two big groups, small cell and non-small cell. Non-small cell breaks down again, but we're not here to learn all about it that way. Small cell is rapidly aggressive. Small cell, 5-year life expectation, you're going to be less than 10%.
And my question with lung disease and
Mhm.
lung cancer like that, am I right or am I wrong that years ago it was pretty much a death knell when you get it, and
It's-
now they're actually treating it better? I'm only
We're
asking
getting
that.
better at it, but better at something where we're still going to have only one in about 5.5 live in 5 years.
Because I'll never forget one of my relatives, her father-in-law, happy-go-lucky guy,
Mhm.
you know, and I was working at one of the hospitals in Buffalo drawing blood, and he's in there. And I go, "Oh, Eddie, what are you doing here?" He goes, "Oh, I'm just here for a physical," and he was dead the next day because
Well,
he was just full of lung cancer.
well, it all depends when it's caught.
Mhm.
Now, what they've gotten smart. If you've had a 20-pack year history, smoked a pack a day
Mhm.
for 20 years or the equivalent, and you're either not stopped smoking for less than 15 years or still smoking, each year you get a low radiation dose CAT scan to try to catch that when it's one small lesion that perhaps is surgically curable, where they can get it. It's not gone into lymph nodes or other tissues. That's there for every smoker over 50 and under 80. And getting people to do it, when they do, you can catch. I've had past experience with patients where we catch one small lesion, they would go to the surgeon, get it taken out, and go on to have a normal life.
So there's no chance. I mean, there's always a chance of something reoccurring, but as long as they
Yes.
smoke, they should be okay.
Uh,
I'm just throwing it out there because I don't know.
no, I'm just,
Because
I'm not sure what you're asking. I'm
Well,
so
this
sorry.
goes back to the question I asked you because I had a gentleman with prostate cancer.
Mhm.
He didn't have a prostate. He felt obligated to tell him that he had prostate cancer 13 years ago and he never got the insurance.
Mhm.
Now, is it true that a part of this cancer could be sitting somewhere else ready to
It's
attack?
possible, but they can usually estimate your risk. And if surgery is something that is possibly curative, they can do surgery. It depends what stage you catch it. Is it just that one lesion? Is it that lesion into lymph nodes around it? Is it that lesion into distant structures? So yeah, it breaks down your risk and says, yes, surgery may help. No, surgery won't help, and the risk of surgery is greater than the benefit.
Okay, let's say, someone has, abused themselves with cigarettes their whole life to the point where their lungs are breaking down and they need a transplant. Okay.
Mhm.
And I'm under the opinion that you can't just get a lung transplant. You got to have lung and heart, correct?
No, you can just get a lung transplant.
Oh, really?
But it's not the home run pitch. It sounds like number one, availability. Number two, will you tolerate that surgery? Is that surgery going to kill you in the process? Number three, are you going to be able to keep those lungs and take the medicines that are required to not reject them? It is a big surgery and it is a big risk and it's an ongoing risk. It's a very tough situation.
Okay, so let's go back to Eddie Buffalo with his alpha-1 antitrypsin deficiency disease. And they consider mine being dormant. And the only way it's going to get worse is if I smoke or I'm around a lot of secondary smoke. Is there anything else that I can do to help myself or hurt myself?
Essentially, avoiding smoke, staying active, keeping your lung capacity up with exercise. Those are the things you can do at this time. They are working on other treatments for alpha-1 antitrypsin, but they're in the works. They're not really demonstrated yet, and they're not available.
What I'm very interested in, that when alpha-1 hits people, it's usually the liver.
There's a couple different manifestations where they can separate that out. That's kind of a rabbit hole we may not want to go down here.
Maybe we'll save that for another show.
Yeah. More in common interest.
So what you're saying is we should smoke dope instead of cigarettes.
No, I'm saying we shouldn't smoke.
How about marijuana lollipops?
To each his or her own.
How about gummies?
To each his or her own. Now, let's talk about...
Come on, Andy. Tell me the truth. Where were you on the night of...
I'm a little confused. Now, if you smoke, statistically, you've sacrificed a decade of your life.
Holy crap. Is that true?
Yep. Another thing that's interesting, people who stop smoking at 40 typically are going to have a somewhat normal lifespan.
Now, I'm going to ask you a question. I don't know if you're prepared for it because you usually are for everything that I throw at you.
Yes, I'm married. No, I'm teasing.
Vaping. We don't have all the information yet. It takes time to develop, the information. We need more data. You saw a guy vaping at the gym while he was working out, idiot.
Vaping yes. Vaping's not a good solution either. If you think about it, you're still exposing your lungs to toxic chemicals, and it's a cooler smoke, so it stays down longer. And to make vapor from liquid, you have a heated metal filament. So along with whatever is in the vape, you're inhaling hot metal ions.
That's a good
like
question.
working at a foundry.
Okay, say I have cancer, okay, and I want to use marijuana to help the treatment along. Tell me why they would rather you have the lollipops, the tincture, and not smoke. They don't want you smoking it and getting in your body. Why is that?
Anytime you smoke, you're taking in carbon monoxide and you are actively injuring and inflaming lung cells that are already challenged from either your COPD or your lung cancer or both. You don't want to put hot gas down there with all sorts of ions, carbon monoxide, and whatever sediments it has in it. So common sense, you can sit there and smoke the lawn. It's not good for you.
So what's the deal with filtered cigarettes? Do people think it's actually going to help them not get as much whatever carcinogens?
I would think of it as, instead of being shot at with 45 caliber bullets, they're shooting at you with 38s. It's a smaller bullet.
Still going to kill you.
Still going to kill you.
Jesus. Wow.
It does not make that much of a difference. Low tar cigarettes, same deal. Low, if you're smoking, you're smoking.
Did you know that both Marlboro Man was from Greenville, Texas?
No.
Now you do.
I do I have read anecdotally that one of the Marlboro men got cancer and became an anti-cancer activist until it killed him.
What's crazy to me, and what I was thrilled at when you had to stop smoking in bars and restaurants, because even if you don't smoke, if you're in one of these places, you come home and you stink. Especially my ex had very thick hair, and that was just god awful.
Well, secondhand smoke kills average of 41,000 people a year.
And as I travel to different places, I mean, what blew me away was when my kids were living in Philly and I would visit them all the time. They had cigarette machines still in the freaking bars, and you could still smoke in there.
Different places, different laws. Also, sometimes places will not obey the law. I personally try to avoid being around smokers because I really don't want to incur the damage. But again, I don't disrespect people. Most of the people who smoke don't want to. They do it because they have to. And you need to offer different alternatives.
Well, it's an addiction like anything else, whether it's food, whether it's alcohol, or whether it's sex.
Well, moving along, things that are out there to help treat people who smoke. There is Chantix, which is an antidepressant that for some reason hits some of the centers that will stop compulsive behavior.
And is that like an oral med?
Yes, it's a medicine. Pros of the Chantix, when it works very well. Cons, some people have vivid nightmares. Ooh. Some people, if they have underlying psychiatric illness, will have it worsen, depression, anxiety.
That's going back to something you scared the hell out of me for my kids, because a few of them do smoke marijuana, and that they're under the impression, and a lot of people out there are, that THC is not addictive. But what can it do, Andy? And you scared the shit out of me with this one.
Well, they've seen, especially with the higher percentage THC marijuana products, people with underlying psychiatric illness will be more prone to have psychotic breaks and psychiatric acute episodes needing treatment.
That's just nuts. That's crazy. That is crazy to me.
And I'm not trying to be like the wet blanket. I'm just trying to say, when you do certain things, there's a risk incurred, and you have to be aware of it.
I just don't understand why people still smoke.
Well, they don't smoke because they want to. A lot of the time they smoke because they have to. And a lot of people will be aggressive, and that will back people in the corner, and they're going to get barriers to stopping smoking. They're going to get mad and say, I'm going to go out with a lit one between my fingers just because so-and-so was so rude to me. I mean, it doesn't work. What you do is you treat them civilly and offer alternatives. Offer, when you're ready, I'm here to help.
It just shows you how society has changed so much. It drives me nuts when I see somebody driving around smoking in their car and you can see all the smoke. I mean, you used to be able to smoke on airplanes, for Christ's sakes.
I remember when you smoked in the movies. I remember pretty much you smoked any place you wanted to. I remember when, like my mom, when she went to see the OB, she said that, he did his exam. They went back in the office for the consult, and they both lit up a cigarette. And again, I don't want to sound like I'm some.
Dude, they had Flintstones. Flintstones were doing cigarette ads.
They were doing Winston commercials.
Like, holy crap,
It was a different time.
All things have changed.
It was a different time, and the tobacco companies, more and more, it's coming out that they were working very hard to suppress slant evidence and just pay their way to making it go away.
I mean, let me ask you this, Andy. If you go into the store and you're buying, say, some type of food that you really like, and it says right on the side of the package, "This will kill you," you gonna buy that? Dummies. I don't care if you don't like it or not. Dummies, stop smoking. Don't be dumb. Be around for everybody.
I'm of the opinion you get more bees with honey. Work with the people.
That's what I say to that, Andrew.
Well, 40 years of experience, those are the people who come to me and work with me.
But you know what's crazy though? I mean, in people's houses, there were ashtrays everywhere. Remember the ones on like the pedestals and stuff? That was part of your furniture, for crying out loud.
Oh, absolutely.
So would you say that not only is addictive, but it was more of a social thing back then?
Absolutely. Everybody, I used to joke, everybody
Hey, can I
smoked
bum-
except for the pets.
Can I bum a smoke from you?
Sure. Look, watch any movie on Turner Classic Movies.
Oh yeah.
Well, it was just embedded in our culture.
And I remember my one uncle smoked Pall Malls and Camels. Oh, those stunk so bad.
But my approach is I work with people. I offer them alternatives.
He's nicer than me.
Well, it doesn't work to be aggressive and unpleasant and rude.
So if you just say,
work.
what are you being stupid? Why are you smoking, you jackass?
Okay, and is that person ever going to talk to me? Are they going to come back? If
I
they
don't like
have a
smokers,
moment
so I'm
when
okay
they want
with
to
that.
stop, no, you work with people, treat people with dignity.
Just call me Eddie Salty Buffalo.
Ooh, watch out for that salty buffalo.
So I guess because I've never smoked in my life and never smoked marijuana because of my lung problem. I had a whole different reason for not smoking. But I mean, a lot of my buddies in school, they smoke cigarettes, obviously, a lot of pot smokers and hash. Now, if you had to compare those three things that you smoke, what's worse for you over the other ones? Or is that something
It's a difficult comparison. Things I would think about the smoke with hashish and the smoke with marijuana is a hotter temperature smoke, which is why it goes in and people are more likely to cough it back out. The smoke with cigarettes is a little cooler. The smoke with the vape is very cool, so it stays down longer. They're all dangerous in different manners. I would say pound for pound, pot or hash is more damaging because of the temperature, etc. But people don't smoke that pound for pound, or else they'd be asleep on the couch.
See, so I'm gonna go back to like when I was like 8, 9 years old at Cub Scouts,
smoking pot at Cub Scouts.
And somebody's dad was an FBI agent and came in with like the drug board of all the drugs, and when he goes, "You see this joint? It's like smoking 100 packs of cigarettes."
That's a bit of an exaggeration.
But do I remember it? Yes, I remember that.
Well, I try to keep my stuff as factual as I'm able to.
So Andy says, don't be a dummy. Stop smoking. Put that shit down.
I would just say be open to a conversation to replace it.
It's very difficult.
There's lots of different ways to go at it.
And I'm kidding around with this, but it's addictive like everything else. Everybody has a problem with it. No matter what it is, if it's alcohol, if it's drug abuse, if it's sex, if it's cigarettes, if it's food, that's a big one.
You just have to have the conversation in a non-judgmental fashion, offer alternatives. If people understand what's going on, great. If they don't, offer more facts and step back, be the advisor, let them make the decision, because if they don't make that decision, it's not going to work. And don't alienate them so that they will have other barriers to making the right decision.
Just the cost of it is what blows me away.
It's a car payment, basically.
Yeah, it's insanity, and you just stink, that stuff, it doesn't come out. I mean, I get it all in my hair. I have problems.
Well, you're safe now.
So I can smoke now? Is that what you're saying?
I'm just saying your hair is safe. It's on the floor in the barber's.
So I got to say, this has been a very interesting show. Thank you very much for all the information, Andy. And it's up to you what you want to do. But I think if you're looking to stop smoking, talk to your physician. Maybe they can help you, And
it's not easy.
But we're going to end the show like we end every other show. If you like working with people that are just like you, have the same values that you do, have the same passion for life, and love your children as much as we do ours, we're definitely the people you need to be working with. You can reach us at ebiagency.com. You can email me at eddiebuffaloinsurance@gmail.com. And what's the hotline, Andy? He doesn't know that yet. 716-541-4118. Once again, thank you very much for being with us. Stick around next week for our whole slate of shows. And remember, life is still worth living, Andy. What do you got to do?
Just keep fighting.
Just keep fighting. So take care, everyone. Thanks again.